cast it to the four winds. Enemies, trade secrets, rely from all friends. So let's take it across the ocean to the land of my hide. Before on my body shakes like ropes and the world crumbles. Native tribes commit genocide, killing alien beast and rumble mumble. Report God as a guide, this is my undercover. Still a WC and sky of the gas, when they don't love buzzing. Riders in the empires, must colonize everything they discover. Put a brick wall between people and the land wall mother. Like a dead, you can't stop it. It's already there, but you do it to yourself, I don't know. Top of my hair. And what's up with this free zone? No flying over holy land, fighting over holy sand. From the streets of Turkey and Israel to the dudes of Iran and Afghanistan. All of your holy brothers taught you how to survive this place. The last time I checked, we were all put into the same race. Supposedly cognitive to tell you what the hell you're doing. Civilization and things falling apart with nothing off to knowing. Take it back to the side. Maybe it's a little all across worldwide. Past the things preserved for us to learn from mistakes, like engineering buildings on the sides of earthquakes. Trapped to life preservers on 2 feet, take a slow long read, turn the search for some eats. It takes a while to find something like her again. But it's heavy and I never very easy. Maybe go to Europe, smoke some cash and walk through tulips. Take it to it, get a couple stomachs, some close, and now they hold their hands from a big social last, but we're not. The Filipinos, Indians, Chinese have been patiently waiting like the Asians, state administration, community, free, and you. As long as what I must do, I believe in an eightfold path that must be brought because blinded inside your head, and from living inside. Not only that, but let's take it to the Swiss out. All this is in for the no living scouts. So what's up, Mr. President? I can Russia. Can you tell me what you're going to do about all that in Russia? And then you pass the side, and then you went off for a ride. Bro, ride. See, we got one in YouTube land. Shalom. MTS Bashir. Alahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessing, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. That goes to you and everyone else who shows up to this party, because that's what it is. It's time for a party. We get together 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday through Friday, to discuss entrepreneurship and service in your community. We have 10 special interest groups that we speak about. Today happens to be question and answer day. On the other 5 days throughout the week, except for Shabbat, is when we would talk about these different special interest groups. They all have a day. We've gone through 5 of them, and we are about to start the next 5 in the series starting Monday. This past week, we have been reviewing Al-Baqarah from Surah and Quran. The reason why is because before an entrepreneur can start adding up 1 + 1 = $2, we have to look at ethics and standards. This is not about just finding whatever product you want and then just putting it in front of the people. This is about actually standing on what you do, quality before quantity. This is also based on the fact that people have
a whole lot of misconceptions about what's going on in the scrolls of the Quran and the Bible and all of the other religious materials that people are reading and saying that they adhere to. So, yes, we spent the past few days, we spent 3 days, I know, talking specifically about Al Baqarah. And prior to that, we were talking about Yusuf. And prior to that, we were talking about Tawbah. We also get together to talk about cryptocurrency and other vital subjects because we have to learn how to actually apply them. The 10 special interest groups that we speak on all have a specific focus concerning organic marketing strategies with their own perspective, meaning different businesses have different ways to approach marketing. This is not a one size fits all. Even with the names and terms that I use, that doesn't mean that that's the only way that it has to be. It's just something I've specified so that we can use that and then grow from it. Today is question and answer because most of the time I am either talking the whole time or I am reading some kind of scripture. However, today I will leave the floor open for those who have questions concerning things that we've already reviewed or something that may pop to your mind. And that would be concerning entrepreneurship, questions out of the Quran or the Bible. I'm not going to tell you that I'm an expert on the Bible. I won't tell you that I'm an expert on the Quran because I'm going to have to look up the information just as much as I would tell you to look it up for yourself. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and start this the right way. A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-rajim. We seek the protection of our Father against shaitan, those who do evil and evil ways, while we travel along the divine path. We recite surah and prayer in order to become nearer with our Father, our Creator. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Yaka nabudu wa yaka nasta'in. Isna surata al-mustaqim. Surata al-adina anamta alayhim. Khairil maghdubi alayhim. Walad Dolin. It is said that when we pass away, each of us will have a moment to speak with our Creator, and we will be asked, have you heard Al Fatiha? In the name of our Father, the most merciful, the most compassionate, Lord over all worlds, Creator of our deen and our path, the most merciful, the most compassionate. We ask you to forgive us when we disobey you like others have done before. We ask you to show us how to forgive others the way that you forgive us. We thank you for the deen that you have provided as guidance. Amen. I was flipping through my notebook because I was looking for the translation that I have written down, slightly different from what I say when I speak it back in English. For those of you who have been listening for the last 3 or 4 minutes, yes, you have actually heard Al Fatiha in both Farsi tongue and in English. If you'd like to find out where to find Al Fatiha, it is the first surah in the Quran. And if you don't have the book handy, you can go online, quran.com, quran.com. Al Fatiha is the first surah It is the opening of the Quran. If you go to Quran.com, you will be able to look at all of the different surah of the Quran. You'll be able to see it in Farsi. You'll be able to see it translated in English. And you can also click a button so that you can hear it in Farsi. Now, why do I keep saying Farsi? Because Arabic is not a tongue. Arabic is a way of life. That is to be a nomad. There are several different clans and families who are known as nomads, and not all of them speak Farsi tongue. The Quran itself was written in Farsi. What's Farsi? Persian. Even within the Quran itself, it denotes when it's talking about Arabs, it's not talking about Muslims. It's talking about the Bedouin nomads of the desert. It's talking about the nomads who lived in the Farsi Peninsula, who sometimes picked up on Muslim and Islamic practices. However, they were not necessarily followers of the faith. They were not the ones that you could look at to say, oh, that's representing that way of life. No. The same can be said today. There are a lot of people in groups arguing with each other on what you're supposed to wear and what you're supposed to look like and all that kind of stuff to represent the divine path, when it's actually very simple. Those who are on the divine path are going to make sure to adhere to the standards of Yahweh Elohim, to follow the wisdom of Ravak HaKadesh, and to do one's duty to walk in the same path and grace as Yahashua HaMashiach. So who is Yahweh Elohim? That is our creator. That is our creator. He is the Lord of all worlds. In essence, he's our Father. So we would say, Subhanahu wa ta'ala, all praises to our source of sustenance and mercy, who is Ravak HaKadesh. It's what some people would call the Holy Spirit. When you learn the standards, the rules, the decrees that are written in the scrolls, and then you go about living your life and you apply what you know, and you make sure that you're actually trying to stay with the standard, that's when you're moving with wisdom. The best wisdom to have would come from Ravak HaKadesh, the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will remind you to do the things that you learned according to the standards. Who is Yahashua HaMashiach? It's our Messiah, the anointed one, the one who actually walked around on earth long enough to show people this is what you are supposed to do to conduct yourselves. He didn't just come here to die, he actually showed us how to live. As a matter of fact, while he was going around conducting the things in his life, he was repeating many of the things that we had seen from other prophets, other teachers, other representatives along the line. The lineage, the family history, from one known as Adam, going on through to Moses, Abraham, all the way to Elijah and Elisha, all the way to Yahashua HaMashiach, and even those that he taught as his disciples, later on to be brought on through the messenger, Prophet Muhammad. Allahu Salahi wa Salam. Our Father's peace and mercy be upon all prophets, because they were all showing us the will of Yahweh Elohim. It's been a minute. We've got a special treat today. One, I'd like to give thanks to two of the brothers in black who helped me out greatly today. been in a bad bind and needed my device to be replaced. And I found one that was on sale. However, I didn't have enough to cover for it. And two of the brothers in black were obliged and helped me out. My sincerest thank yous to you. So now, not only am I just on a new device, I've also opened it up to where we're doing a multi-stream. We're also streaming to TikTok. I had just made an announcement that I would not be coming back to TikTok unless I had a proper device to do so. We're basically back to where we started, which is great because we've been growing the whole time as well. For all the losses we may have suffered, we've also been growing. I don't count the losses like that. I look forward to the things that we accomplish. Imtiaz Bashir, I hope that answers your question as far as what's up. Because, yeah, we've been covering a lot of ground since the first of the year. And I'm not talking about the Gregorian calendar. My calendar starts with Favardin. In some places, they would say they start with Aries. In the Paleo Hebrew calendar, there's even a first month, and it is not January. It starts at the first of spring. That's the first of the year. We've been broadcasting since then. We have one specific message. Not only are we searching for how to express entrepreneurship and service in your community, we're also looking at awareness for truthfulness and righteousness. There's one charge that we've all been given while given this gift called life. We're supposed to be broadcasting the message of the will of Yahweh Elohim across the globe. Whether anybody accepts it or not, we're supposed to at least plant it at their feet for them to be able to consider it. That is our duty. We're not here to force anybody to do anything. We're not here to compel anybody to do anything. We are here to live as an example and to pass the message on. Because of that, there is no room for infighting. There's no room for arguing over semantics. If you know what the standard says, then that's where you need to be. I tuned into the message from our Kohelet today, and he was actually teaching from a compendium meant for the Mycenaeans from information that had already been delivered by Farsi and Avra. And the people of today are holding on so dearly to that Mycenaean compendium that they're losing all kinds of information in the translation. What am I talking about? That Blue Book Concordance has nothing to do with Paleo Hebrew. It has nothing to do with Avra. It has nothing to do with Proto-Canaan. It has nothing to do with Farsi. And people are fighting with each other about what the definitions are and what you're supposed to be doing when it's a third rank away from the original. People arguing about what the lines are saying in there and so busy arguing, they're not even going out doing the actual work. There's an issue there. At the beginning of the scrolls, Revelations, there's a warning that goes out to 7 different assemblies, telling them there's a message you're supposed to be doing, but you're so caught up with all this stuff that has nothing to do with the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim that I cannot accept any of your efforts. Anything that you're doing can be kicked to the side because all this other stuff you got going on overshadows the actual light. I cannot say that you are a part of me. You know what my message is to everyone out there today? It's real simple. If I counted up and kept an actual record of all the people that said, yeah, I'll walk with you and I'll do this and I'll do that. And then the second that the hill gets too steep, they step off to the side or, no, hold on, I got to get something to drink or I can't take this. If I kept a record of how many people fell off to the wayside while I kept going on the path, I would be weighed down with sandbags instead of keeping account of growth. There's supposed to be setbacks. I don't mind setbacks. If I was on easy street, then I would definitely look around and check because something is not right. I don't expect a paved way because I'm a trailblazer. When they tell you, oh, here's a way that's real quick and easy and convenient, that means it's not for you. It's for the benefit of whoever is telling you that it's convenient. It's convenient for them. It's convenient for them to offer something to you so that you will become dependent on it. I'm real leery anytime anybody offers me any kind of convenience. Even the gift I received today comes with a cost. It's been partially paid forward because of the efforts that I put in. However, that's not over. Even receiving this gift, I immediately sent pictures of my old device so that people would know I'm not playing with you. The screen was off kilter. I was not going to be able to even come in front of you all to speak. I can't even push the screen to tap the button to take a picture. It was overheating so much that I would have to be ginger about it every time I used it. That wasn't me just saying something to be saying it. That meant that if I opened up that phone one more time, it was possible it was going to burn out and y'all weren't going to see me at all. So I give thanks for the people who gave the gift today. I really do. That's also why we're multi-streaming over to TikTok right now, is because I was able to upgrade to a new device. I'm thankful for the people who do actually watch and respond. I don't expect 1,000 people to relate to what I'm talking about because it's not meant for 1,000 out of 1,000 people to just show up and be a part of this. This is not for everybody in the world. The only part about it for everybody in the world is for you to actually hear what it is. Because after that, I'm not going to hold your hand, nor am I going to put any kind of weapon to your head saying this is what you got to do. No, it's on you, especially if you are what's considered a grown individual. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to let you know what's known, what the real rules are. You want to tell me about the preamble of the Constitution? You want to tell me how I need to be going to vote because people have died to vote? And I'm here to tell you, I'm not dying for a sin. There's nowhere in the world in the scrolls where it tells you you're supposed to be voting, especially for the same person who oppresses the kingdom of Yahweh. There's a problem. I don't support any of it. That's why I'm here. That's why I have to make an appeal to people when there's something that I need, because I'm not part of a system. The only system that I'm really a part of is the one that was already naturally made. I'm not part of the Republicans or the Democrats or the capitalists or the communists or the socialists. I'm not a part of anybody running around here talking about what their flag looks like. None of that is necessary where I'm from. If you can't tell from what it is that I say and what I do, then you're the blind one, not me. If you can't tell from what I say and what I do, you're the deaf one. If you can't tell from what I say and what I do, then you need to peel yourself away from whatever statue that you're kneeling in front of. That's the message. Give me a minute. I'm gonna put on some music. I don't feel like talking right now. Let's have a listening party. For anybody who wants to say something, this is the time for you to stand up and say it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna switch over here to TikTok to see if anybody's actually joined in. Shalom, TikTok. I see you, bold servant. Margaret Thorpe, Don Fly. For everybody who's been visiting, looks like there's been 36 in here. JDP, Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom Abarak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon each and every one of you, your families, and your circles. We've been going for about 26 minutes now. We start at 4 p.m., go to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is question and answer. Unfortunately, even though I can look in and see who all is here watching on, I can see the people who are tuned in. However, I can't respond with you. I can't see any comments or anything like that. The way this is set is I can see the live analytics, basically. I saw Cat or something was in here and it's gone now. So it is what it is. This will be recasted regardless to those who are part of the assembly. Just to let you know that yes, we are still active. We do appreciate all those who come through the visit. I'm not sour about it at all. You're still welcome to leave your comments because I will be able to see them later. Like I said, I'm going to turn this into a listening party. If nobody comes in with any questions, we're still going to ride out the 2 hours. Got two in YouTube land. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. We've been on for a little over 30 minutes. I said I know we got two because we just arrived. Whether you step up and say hi or not, thank you. I do appreciate you coming to the party. We get together 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about entrepreneurship and service in your community. We have 10 special interest groups that we talk about. And today is Q&A because we take all of the days out of the week except for Shabbat to talk about each group. Each has its own day, its own specific day. We've just gone through a whole week of review for the first wave. It's a bi-weekly thing. Out of the 10 different special interest groups, we do 5 in 1 week, reserve Shabbat for rest, and then we come back on Sunday for Q&A. We're about to go into the second week starting tomorrow. Since nobody's asking any questions, I'm just going to make it a listening party. And I thank you party. This party is brought to you by two major contributors of the Brothers in Black. In due time, all Brothers in Black need to be standing up, checking on their battle buddies. I give a special thank you to two of the Brothers in Black who were looking out for me. Thank you. Tada. From the soles of my feet to the top of my crown, I give you 1,000 thank yous. That show of support is what keeps me going. It's one thing to have somebody show up just to argue. It's another to have someone show up with pen and paper ready to take notes. And then yet another, one person shows up ready to jump out and go on the path no matter what it takes. I'm looking for all three because it takes initiative. It takes self-accountability. It takes empathy to be an entrepreneur and to be someone who's on the divine path. Walking the divine path has no selfishness in it. You have to deny self to make sure that others are provided for, especially if you know that you have enough within self. Now, the part that most people forget, it doesn't mean you go and just give away willy-nilly. You give it to those who are also on the divine path, who need resources. Because there is one lesson we all need to learn. People have been quoting, be in the system and not of it, for way too many millennia, for thousands of years. Apparently, that is not the way to do it. There's a saying, Come, Yahashrael, rise up out of her, Yahashrael. Leave the ways of Babylon, Yahashrael. And then there's a scroll that was sent that says, Chazan, Yahashrael. Meaning we're supposed to be rejoicing using the standards that were given to us. And all of those standards tell us we need to hurry up and rise up out of Babylon and not carry any of the ways with us. Most of us are having issues because you don't want to let go of those Babylonian ways. This isn't about worrying about who's a Democrat or a Republican, because that goes back to Polis, islands of the Mycenaeans. So as long as you're running around talking about voting, you're talking about Mycenaean ways. You're talking about that blue letter concordance, and it's time to get away from it. If you're worried about what the national deficit is, you're forgetting about the nation that you're really supposed to be in. If you're worried about what some celebrity is talking about, and if they're talking about changing society, well, look at the fact that they've been doing whatever they've been doing for the last 20 or 30 years. Now, how much of that showed that they really wanted to change society? And how much of that is just some little hot spot that they wanted to put in the public to regain notoriety? I know how I've been living for the last 49 years, and I know what it's like to wake up irritated from my people passing for lack of knowledge. It might seem like I'm a little bit hard and a little harsh, and it's because I'm not latching on to pillows. I'm not latching on to sweet nothings. I know the harsh reality, and I know what it's like to get up and do work. And I'm not talking about just toiling at some job. The actual work that it takes to make sure that a kingdom exists. It's not about your feelings. It's about what's really going on. Our mission is to look out for the orphans, the widows, the sick, the shut in, prisoners, those who are actually walking the path and do not have enough resources, those who are allotted to actually account for all of that and to provide from out of the storehouses to give to such individuals or families. Those are the ones who are supposed to receive charity. Who gives charity? Those who are doing work for the kingdom. Because work for the kingdom goes beyond who's a priest and who's a judge and who's a warrior. Those who are working for the kingdom are the ones who are taking care of agriculture, planting food, distributing food, making clothing, distributing clothing, providing education for the children, for the adolescents, and even for the adults, skilled trade and labor. These are the things we need to be focused on instead of talking about, oh, our president is a felon and we can't trust the Congress. Number one, that's not our anything. Not my president. I live on this planet. I do not adhere to any invisible marks of territory. What's a country to me? What's a city to me? Because every time I look, these demarcations of cities and countries and states and provinces pretty much stop you from doing what you were naturally given the right to do through birth. You should be able to go out and pick some food and eat it without someone telling you, no, you can't grow that in your yard, or your grass has to be only a certain height, and you must have grass in your yard instead of growing strawberries. There's an issue. The world's all out of order. Minister Morel, Alahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. 1,000 thank yous to you, my big brother. Thank you. For those who don't know, Mr. Morel, you're one of the main reasons why I keep pushing at this. 1,000 times thank you, my brother. I can't really correspond with you and TikTok coming from this particular feed because it only tells me the analytics of who's here. I can't see the comments. But I want you to know, yeah, I see. We've been on for about 43 minutes. I'll push it for another hour and 15. I'm not going to be ranting and railing. This is a listening party. Since no one's raising any questions, I can respond on YouTube. There's a couple of developments I'm considering making. There's a couple of changes I'm considering making. Because I do have my other laptop has fired up and it works. I have to be careful with it. I don't need it to overheat either though. So that's why I haven't been pushing 3 or 4 different channels all at the same time. I just now opened up my laptop in the last week. I was being pushed to because of that other device was about to go out on me, you know. It's funny, people don't realize how fragile it is to set up a digital network. People are so used to just using their phones, or I just want to call somebody, or I just want to open up TikTok or Facebook so I can look at a couple of goofy videos and then go on about my business. Don't understand what can be set up with just a phone. There are so many different avenues that I reach just through my phone. When people start talking about what they have to do when they go through banks and go through this and go through that and what Google will allow them to and whoever, I just keep my mouth shut, because sometimes you can tell people, hey, try this, and they will. Or you can try and tell somebody something, they want to argue with you. Oh, it does, blah, 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 blah. And you're trying to tell them a way around all of that because you found something. And they're too busy wanting to argue with you. You know what that's called? The inability to problem solve. When I come upon a negative situation, even if it affects me negatively in that immediate moment, I'm already trying to figure out how to resolve it. So if I come to you and I say, hey, I've got a negative moment, it doesn't mean I'm sitting there in that negative moment. It means, hey, I've got a negative moment, and either I've figured out something that I'm about to do, or it has actually been resolved, and I'm trying to share that with you. I'm telling you this because it's a situation that I just went through about 45 minutes ago. Colette talks about the 3 C's. In those 3 C's, there is no B for brother. There's no F for family. However, the ones that you call brother and family can also be the ones that are quickest to turn their back on you before the 3 C's do. I'm not talking about blood relationship. I'm talking about people who you call the closest. Why? Because when you tell them your problems, they may not be available to hear, They may not be available to even help you resolve it because they haven't gotten past that themselves. I'm so used to spending time alone, I can be around people and still be alone because they don't know my struggle. Everybody going through a struggle, but you might not know mine because I resolved to do something 33 years ago and I'm still at it. Selah. Know what happens when you give up? Whatever it was you were sent to do is not gonna happen. When you come across people that say, "Oh yeah, what you're talking about, that's great, that's a great dream, and best luck about it," they're saying they don't have any faith in what you're talking about doing. And then the second that you give up on it is the second they're relieved. Oh, see, I was right. It's not possible. Apply your doubt to actually something that you're responsible for, to where it would crush you if it wasn't completed. See if you have such a chipper spirit about just throwing it to the side then. What is your life's work? What do you really have to be responsible for and report for? As a 16-year-old, I was trying to figure out what I was going to be as an adult. I had no idea I'd look like this and be wearing my hair like this when I was 16. It's been a great day today, and the day ain't over. Picked up a mobile device that was already at 64%. I've had it plugged in and charged in since got back to the house. That was about 2:30. It's going on 4 o'clock my time now. Got signed in and a few of the apps active to where I can pick up where I left off. Once again, 1,000 thank yous. Are you? Thousand thank yous to the brothers in black who came through in response to help me. See that screen? I've been playing back music from one of my playlists on the Angelic Discipline channel. I'm sure you noticed that the screen's a little bit damaged. Like I said, I've been going through a lot of things with this particular laptop. I've had it since around 2013. I think I said 2015 before. No, it's about 2013. idea for moving things around. That won't sit straight anymore. I will say this much. Be careful what you say to people in the middle of a conversation. You tell people what your allegiances are with what you say to people and how you respond. Tell you what, my laptop has picked up the ability to use Restream there. Tomorrow I might test using this device for TikTok so that I can communicate and use the laptop for the YouTube broadcast. I almost want to shut it down right now and reopen it, to be honest with you. But no, I don't want to go through all of that. It's already started up. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Because it's a test. It sure is. We are tested every day. And we need to be prepared to show up for them. There's a lot of my resolve that's been tested today. Need to make a phone call after this broadcast. And then I'm taking a walk. A much needed walk. This device is still brand new, so I haven't even set it for the sleeping screen. It keeps blacking out on me, so I'm gonna go back over to the YouTube side. User 9679340808303 in TikTok land. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Akarak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Brothers, peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who does come to this party. Now, the funny thing is, as soon as I was saying that greeting, that person bounced out. That's how I know, even though it might say 67 viewers, I don't expect 67 people to be hanging out. It would be great if 67 people were, but I know better. Tell you another reason why, no matter what goes on, I'm still having a great day. Matter of fact, I'll show you. All praises to our source of sustenance and mercy. Say hello to the black bean sprout. All praises to our source of sustenance and mercy. Give greetings to the tomato sprout. All praises to our source of sustenance and mercy. Give greetings to the tomato sprouts and the lentil sprout. We're waiting for these lentils to pop up. They had been outside, so I moved them inside. Those are also bean sprouts, waiting. I had them outside and they showed me through this bean sprout that they prefer a dark, cool place to start their process. Now we're going to step outside for a second so I can show you the rest. One moment, please. Look a little plits. Now that we're outside, say greetings to the kale and to the spinach. These are waiting to sprout out because they were inside. There's some more kale and spinach. I had them in the wrong environment. So possibly within the next day or two, they will sprout because there's actually two different rounds of crop, I will say. These are basil sprouts. I did it in 2 rounds. They're about a week apart from each other. And now that part's been busted up. Basically, the ones that have not sprouted started from a week ago. These actually are from a week ago. Both of these. These are from a week ago. I had them inside, and they're supposed to be doing the same thing as these. Same goes for the bean sprouts that are by the window inside. They started out here, and this direct sunlight was not for them. So later on this evening, probably after I take the walk, when I come back, I'll water them and all of that kind of thing. It's actually, when I'm watering the plants, is the time that I reserve for when I recite psalms and pray. It's the other reason why I do this exercise. One, to grow food in order to eat, and also to be reminded to pray, to make salah. All right, so let's see here. Been on for about an hour, so we got about another hour to go. It's almost a quarter after the top of the hour, so we'll push it for another 30 minutes. And then after that, I got a few other things I need to take care of for the day. Once again, if there's any questions or anything like that, feel free to post them. Unfortunately, no, I cannot reply to TikTok right now, so you might see about making some changes tomorrow concerning that. For anyone who wants to know, this is the way that you can actually contribute to me. Any funds, donations, or requests for custom services are greatly appreciated. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what I do. Custom music, graphics, and promotion. No telling what y'all just saw just then when I walked through the door. Around the year 2020, I started a challenge for self. Every day, I would go find a new drum kit, open it up, check the sounds, and then make an improvised instrumental. Within 20 minutes, I would expect myself to test the sounds of all the instruments in the drum kit, and then construct a song, make a video corresponding to it, and then upload it to 10 different social media platforms. Not, I've got 5 profiles on Facebook. No, 10 different social media platforms. I don't make it a practice to just hang out on one platform. They don't have my best interest at heart. I use social media platforms like fishing waters. Cast out a net, find out who out there is talking about the same standards as me, connect with them, and establish a network. I could offer my services of promoting anyone. I'm not here to promote just anyone. I could use my talents to write music about anything. I'm not here to just rhyme about anything or give a theme song to just anything. Not only have I vowed to make sure that I'm walking along with the standards, that also means that my vow is any work that I usher up, anything that I produce, anything that I pass forward to the people has to be representing that same standard of Yahweh Elohim as well. Otherwise, I can't even say, here, people, take this in. It doesn't matter if I put up a post that's joking, if it's a parody, or if I'm being all serious. I'm not here to tell you, oh, 10% of my posts are for the kingdom of Yahashua and Yahweh Elohim. No. Everything that I do has to be along that standard. So even when it doesn't look like it belongs in the church, it's because it's not part of the church. That's the whole point of me posting it, to let you know that while you are adhering to church practices, I'm letting you know that's false. You're not going to see certain things from me, and you're going to see me ridiculing certain things because they don't belong. I have eyes to see, ears to hear, a mouth to speak and eat. So if I see you bowing down in front of a stone statue, a wooden statue, a digital statue, I'm going to let you know. When I see you bowing down to man and mammon, I'll let you know. Because I do my best not to. And when the times come when I do, I feel it right here. Not just in my heart, not just in my rib cage, not just in a torn gut. Everything about me feels wrong. There's a chat space that I've started on TikTok called The Promise Keepers. That chat room is not for people to go in sharing a live from somebody else's stream. So-and-so is live right now. That space is not for that. Please don't do that. If you want to announce that someone's doing a live feed, then you can share that to other people's private chat rooms. No disrespect to whoever it is that you're calling a teacher and all of that. However, that chat room is not for that. It is specifically for people to show their work in their efforts, whether they are an entrepreneur now, or even if it's something that you are considering. Anybody who is a member.
It was early autumn. A dense fog.
It's because, yes, I've seen that you are trying to at least show effort.
In New Mexico.
So we're there to build together. Please don't put any links in there from somebody who calls himself a guru or whatever. If you put any of that there, you need to have your face in the video too, talking about whatever it is you're thinking about and how it has anything to do with entrepreneurship. What does it have to do with service in the community?
Just one night, I could earn enough to pay off.
Whether it's for you or for other people as a benefit.
Along with the unplanned fatherhood.
Don't just post up somebody else's work. I don't want to see anybody else's work.
So we're working at a guy in
the group, the Promise Keepers,
and stuff like that, and we're gonna get a ridiculous.
The Promise Keepers is meant for you to show your work. And if you don't go in there showing your work, it lets me know you don't have any work. I can't make it more plain and simple than that. I know exactly how difficult it is to share things on TikTok. That's the whole reason why I'm doing it. The places that you all are relying on to sit around in and have discussions, they're not there to help you. I know of some platforms that we can go to where we can actually help each other without other people just making money off of us existing on their platforms. That's where we need to be at. talking about actually broadcasting from places where the trolls have to pay you to go in, because you're not broadcasting from a place that pays trolls to stop you from doing something positive. I'm talking about leaving these comfort zones that you think are so convenient and they're really stalling you out. I'm talking about walking away without ever turning around and looking back, because if you look back, you turn into a pillar of salt. I'm seeing people turn into pillars of salt right before my eyes constantly. The second you say, yes, that's my promise and that's what I'm going to do, and then 2 steps later, you're looking back trying to figure out what you lost, you're turning into salt already. This whole week, we've been reviewing Al-Baqarah, which is actually the standards. First surah of Quran is a prayer saying, I accept Yahweh Elohim as my guidance and the standard. What standard shall I follow? Where is the written account of the standard I should follow? After I have proclaimed my faith, where is the standard I should follow? So then we spent a little over 3 days, because the first day we were having issues with my device and I didn't get to go all the way through it. We read some of the introduction, which explained the context to Al-Baqarah. And we got through maybe 2 of the first sections, the first few ayah or lines. Out of 260 something, we barely made it to 40 on that first day. So we had to come back and then read the first section that next day. It took us about 4 days. We just finished it up Friday evening. It opens, Al-Baqarah opens saying, these are the standards. Those standards are outlined for what it is that we're supposed to be focused on from the moment we open our eyes, go throughout the day, to the moment we close our eyes for rest that evening. Where we're supposed to be focused. How we're supposed to actually perceive when others are not being genuine. How we're supposed to perceive when others tell you, well, you know, I might be your companion right now, but later on, I'm probably just going to be a colleague or maybe a compatriot, but I really can't walk through and do 100% like you. That's not my walk. I don't get disappointed when people tell me that, because most people weren't made to do this. That's why most people are not accepted. That's why most people think it's a joke when someone steps up and says they are a preacher and they want to recite to you something that's in the Bible, or they want to pray for you and all of that. Well, it's hard to believe in someone when everybody is professing false information and claiming that is righteous. It's hard to take anyone serious when you say, well, I am right, but those over there, they're wrong. Well, how do you know? Have you read what they're talking about over there? No, I just know they're wrong. That's no good. You have to compare and contrast. If you hear that some other people are doing things that displease you, that doesn't mean you ignore it. You see what's displeasing about it. And then you try to do something to resolve that. If you see a people saying that they are one way, they're saying one thing, yet they are acting a different, well, you call it out. And then you ask them to change their ways. You don't just point your finger and laugh at them and say, because then you're doing the same thing. See, this is why I wake up every day disturbed. Because yes, I can go about my whole day, every day, making sure that I'm being as righteous as possible. That boils down to anybody who's around me has to also be that way. Anybody that I say that I'm a part of an assembly with, they have to be that way. Otherwise, I can't be around them. I have one strict rule. If you want me there, it has to be on the righteous path. It has to be on the deen, or I'm not going to be there. There are certain people who receive the message that I spread. That's what keeps me there amongst a group of people. Otherwise, I would go and find myself a nice hillside with a nice pond and a running water creek nearby, and you all wouldn't hear from me because I would have all that I need. I don't need somebody telling me to show up at 9 o'clock and do some kind of task. I wake up and I'm going to make sure that there's some seeds in the ground that need to be watered in order for me to be able to eat. By then, I would have probably twisted up some string from vines, attach that to a stick, and I'm going fishing. No, you won't see me in society. There's nothing holding me in society. Yes, I do have a legacy. However, all of that is a test. I came into this world, mind, body, and soul. And when I leave, it's going to be mind, body, and soul. The body goes here and everything else leaves. I don't get to take my legacy with me. And with that being said, the test that I've been given tried to push me away from my legacy. And every time somebody's doing a half step or a false representation, they're also pushing me away from my legacy, which pushes me further away from society. Trust me, I'm not walking away. I'm going to do my best to make sure that my legacy is provided for. However, that doesn't mean I'm going to sit around anybody who's holding that up. I've got a clear charge that I've been on since before I even knew what it was. Pass the message and keep going. Build when you can and keep going. I'm not stopping for anybody. I'm not stalling out for anybody. Not bending over backwards or acquiescing to somebody else because they want to do something extra. You do extra on your time. I'm going over here. Found a problem, fixed the problem, keep on moving. If I walk into a room of 100 doubters or 100 people who are just going to sit there and 2 people stand up and say, I don't doubt anymore and I'm willing to move, mission accomplished. I'm not here looking for numbers. I'm looking for people who are real. That even goes with the STOP program initiative. That's not just to place somebody's in employment. You have to be real about you. You have to stand behind your resume. You have to stand behind your business proposal. That's also what the Promise Keepers chat room is. No, you're not going to find help wanted for STOP in the Google classifieds. I brought it to you. Are you willing to stand up and actually do something with it? That's the question. STOP program's been here for over 12, 15 years. It's been available on TikTok for about 4 years now. 3, I know. And I think the first post it's pinned, it shows 2021. That's 4 years, definitely. And this is my 3rd profile. All 3 of them are not off or blocked or anything like that. My first profile was talking about it. And I know that was started 2020, 2019. All of the stuff that I talk about, it's pretty much a broken record. It's on repeat. I talk about the same thing all the time. Get context out of the Quran instead of just going off of what they say on CNN. Actually live what it says in the Bible instead of just going off of a couple of titles that someone put in a sermon somewhere. Read a whole chapter out of a book in the Bible instead of trying to quote one verse. Find out what the whole story is. The moment I could get onto public platforms, that's what I was already saying. And that has not changed. We're at 4:30. Give it another 15 minutes and then I am going to step off because, like I said, I need to make a phone call. I want to thank everyone for taking your time out in the day. Could have been anywhere and you're here. I'm much obliged to you. Thank you very much for being here. Mr. Morrell, I see you. I see you still here. 1,000 thank yous. I'll see about setting up 2 different devices, this one and my laptop tomorrow, because I would like to be able to communicate. It's really no good if I can just stare at an analytics screen. I want to be able to talk with the people. But at least we're a step ahead of where we were back in March, where if I'd have done something as simple as that, just switching screens, it shut us down. Part of that was the signal and part of it was the device. That's something that I want to find out. Because like I said earlier, even in this broadcast, this is a test. We're rocking and rolling. We've been rocking and rolling since before the electric guitar. We were already rocking and rolling. We've been rocking and rolling since before that boat that nobody wants to talk about, because we were already on boats, traveling, visiting, and casting nets. This is a test because I'm talking about leaving these spaces and going to spaces where we have it secured. We control what we broadcast, and we don't have to bite our tongue or make sure we're stepping on anybody's toes or anything like that. We can broadcast exactly what needs to be broadcasted from our own telecommunications station. That's what I'm working on building. When I ask for help and support, it should not have to come just because I sent out an emergency about it. We should all be trying to help each other as much as possible. That's why I'm asking for resumes. That's why I'm asking for business proposals. Because we can't help each other if we don't even know what we do. We can't help each other if we're not in a position saying what it is that we do. This is what I do. This is how I can help you. I can't promote people if you won't stand up and say, here, promote this. I can't make it any more plain than that. Do not send me a link from someone else, especially if they're not even really part of the assembly. Send me your work. That's why that challenge is there on TikTok. I know, unless you send me a link from your video, from your profile, you're going to have to send me a link, HTTP link, saying, go look at this from YouTube, go look at this from Facebook, go look at this from Reddit. And then I'm going to have to copy it and paste it into my browser to go find it, to watch it. That's the whole point in this exercise. I want to see how many of you are actually comfortable with surfing social media. When you wonder why things are being suppressed, it's because you're not even going through the effort of making sure it's out there regardless. I posted a video. How come I don't have 100 or 1,000 views? Well, what have you done to make sure you got 1,000 views? What have you done on your end? Have you reached out to 1,000 people who don't know you to find out what they're interested in? Have you offered your service to random people that you don't know? Have you gone and shared other people's content outside of your circle? You might have 10 friends that are your close friends and you share everything with them. How about outside of that? These are hard questions that should be a soft resolve, because y'all are still acting like you up in a church building somewhere. Leave your house, drive over to a separate community, walk into a building, sit up in that building, and then when you leave, don't do anything with the community that's surrounding that building. That's church. Leave your house for one day to go and sit up for a few hours. Meanwhile, leave your house 5 or 6 days out the week to go be somewhere for 8 or 9 hours. And that place does not uphold the same standards as the place that you go for one day for a few hours. That's called hypocrisy. I don't want to be any part of hypocrisy. Doesn't matter who the person is, whether it's an assembly that I'm working with and trying to help out, or if it happens to be somebody I live with, my blood relatives, anyone. I don't like half-stepping. Nor do I like it when people pick and choose. You don't get to pick and choose. I don't get to pick and choose what's going to happen to me today. After I open my eyes, I'm pretty much subject to whatever happens until the end of the day. If not, whatever happens while I'm asleep and I have to wake up and deal with it. I don't get to pick and choose. My phenotype is here. I don't get to pick and choose the other person's opinion, affiliation, or activities. I have to deal with it. And I'm not one who just puts my head in the dirt and waits for things to pass. If it's uncomfortable, I want to fix it because I'd rather be comfortable. It's the difference between potential energy and kinetic energy. My energy is potential while I'm sleeping because that's when it's resurging. Because once I'm awake, it's kinetic. I'm go, go, go. I'm not going to sit and observe and say, oh, yeah, that could be something to do. No, let's do it now so that it's done. I'll play one more song to roll us on out of here. We're at 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Yahweh Ahaba, our creator is love. If you see someone in need, go help them. Don't wait for them to ask. Don't expect a thank you. We're not doing it for that. We're doing it to be in service of Yahweh Elohim. That's ultimate compassion. Amitabha, Amitofo. That is Chinese and Japanese for compassion. Go out and make it your mission to put a smile on somebody else's face. Go out and do an act of kindness. Hold the door open. Step out of someone's way so that they can go forward doing what they need to do. Do something to help someone else. Just manually backing through the whole playlist we just went through. Let me find a song real quick. Shout out to Minister Steve and Teflon Samurai. I'll play back a recent mix that I did.
You had a couple folks, you had a couple righteous men who was coming through and speaking the truth. And the Pharisees and Sadducees would sound like, no, you're killing them folks who are trying to turn the world upside down.
Yeah.
It was like, they didn't want to hear them folks that were coming through because it was bothering the text. Folks stopped doing what the Pharisees wanted. And they started following the commandments of Most High.
Like in these churches. That'll happen eventually.
So, what if we start doing things Most High said to do? And we stand up for what's right, stand up for His word. I ain't talking about no holiday celebration. I'm not talking about the kindergarten stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about how when you see how people are paying taxes, and then like up in Ezra 7 saying, you immune to that type of stuff. You don't bow to nobody's customs. Why are we going to the world? Talking about every excuse is hey, we in captivity.
Right.
Nowhere in this word that say, hey, when you in captivity, it's impossible to keep the commandments. I was here nowhere in this word.
It says render the sins and render the young, but it don't say that it's impossible.
As far as I know, I belong to the Most High. Well, I gotta get myself back to Him. And if we did this, man, imagine what you would be at right now.
It'll be a lot closer.
Be war going on too. It'd be a whole lot closer. They ain't gonna go through.
All be protected, and we see that the wrath, that wrath within the day, that's on God. That's God's hand, Putting us being where we need to be and being in position, and what comes from that, that's just that. But like you said, man, we gotta be so bold in the fact that people get curious and then wonder why and see how and then do why, and it all goes together. That captivity ain't the excuse. That's a circumstance. That ain't the excuse. And what happens then, that's on you. Like what you been baptized with, what you been walking with. I no more fuck, like you said, cool. But after that, what you change it up, what's your community work like? Are you making it, you doing the food, you really separating yourself? Or you just reading and saying, yeah, you shouldn't do it, but what you doing? What you going to say next? What you going to teach?
It's all over. You know what I'm saying? But we over here wasting time. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to be a VIP to get more than just savings with Geico. Every customer gets 24/7 fast-friendly claim support. Could I get a picture? Yeah, it's not like you run into animal celebrities every time.
Fallen soldiers.
Get more than just
They all need to be
get more with
refilled.
Geico.
Want to glow up for your phone?
No, I don't want to glow up. Family, we've reached the end of this broadcast. We've been on for about an hour and almost 40 minutes. We're 14 minutes away from the top of the hour. And yes, I am preparing to make a phone call Much needed phone call. So like I said before, brothers in black, look out for your battle buddies. Check in on each other. Make sure everybody's all right, and find out what you can do to make life easier for the next brother. It's great to be the shoulder so that someone has someone to talk with. However, make sure that you're reaching out. We keep hearing each one, teach one. We can do better than that. We've been on each one, teach one for almost a couple of millennia as well. Some strategies need to change. If you can each one, teach one, then you can teach multitudes too. That's the reason why we were sent out with battle buddies, so that we could reach more than just one. There are some things that we are adhering to that are slowing us down instead of speeding the process. You're looking up at the sky, waiting for the end of days, and then quoting that we're in the end of days because you're hearing a bunch of war. You're still not doing the things that's going to actually bring about the end of days. We can have war and destitution and pestilence and drought and everything else, and it'll just keep on happening. It's been happening. It was happening before the days of Pharaoh. So that's not the sign, and that it says that in the scrolls. The sign is when the actual true message has been shown and everybody knows the example of righteousness across the globe. That's when the change happens. Not because you decided you want to look up at the clouds and pray. When you start doing something to make a change, to bring the kingdom of Yahweh here, that's when you know. When you stop talking about your favorite pro team, when you stop talking about what's happening in Congress, when you start talking about how to start up a community based on the standards of Yahweh Elohim, how to maintain that community, how to keep families going in those communities. When you stop thinking about gaining through death and start learning how to gain through everybody's work efforts in life, that's when the change comes. That's when the end times are here, because the end of the world is the end of the world as they know it. The end of their system. They're looking for Armageddon. We're looking for a reason to rejoice. Please keep that in mind, because that's also part of the message. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who catches this message and this party, and all parties for that matter, coming from me, because I'm bringing it straight from the source. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you, your families, and your circles. Much love and respect.